And we welcome Diplo.
Hey.
This is the earliest I've ever seen you. Usually I see you at 2 in the morning.
That's, sometimes I can wake up that early to go to shows.
This is going to be weird
possible.
being up early for a morning show, though.
Nah, it's not weird at all. It's pretty common.
All these years, Diplo, you've been traveling the world doing shows and and producing in studios around the world. What you do for a living just must be amazing. But how many days a year are you on the road doing what you do for a living?
I'm probably on the road, away from home, probably 300 days a year, and probably doing 300 to 340 shows a year.
That's insane.
Lots.
Do you even know how to get to your house? Do you have a house somewhere, an apartment?
You take Ubers and you put the direction in. they get there. But I'm on the road constantly, so I'm kind of like living in hotels and on airplanes, and that's where I get most of my work done.
So it must be weird for you to go home.
It actually is. I kind of feel like I have PTSD when you go home finally and you're like relaxing because you're just like boosh, traveling so much, so many shows. You'll be in an arena or a festival, and then you go home and you got to set up your birthday party for your son or something. It's like it's like you're like in a whole different world.
You have to go pay bills, go to the dentist, get some stuff done. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Florida originally. I was born in Mississippi, but I grew up in Florida, between Florida and then Philadelphia, and then finally moved to LA kind of to make music. So
what got you into music? What was it that grabbed you?
Yeah, I think it's just I was never good at any other job. I kept getting fired. So music was the one job where you can't fire me. You can't fire me. Music.
What did you get fired from? What was the first job you got fired from?
Well, I got fired from Subway like 3 times, same Subway.
Wait, what could you possibly have done that you got fired from?
Okay, remember
Subway?
when they had those Sub Club cards?
Yeah.
I stole so many of those. I saw the whole roll, and I was eating for free anywhere I went.
You're so popular with your friends.
Yeah, I was like, I got this. You guys want to go to Subway? I got you.
I can't believe you threw away a career as a sandwich artist.
You could have.
I was an artist. I just wanted to be an artist, So I started with
Subway
sandwiches, go to music.
So you left there before the days of the $5 footlong. You missed out.
I haven't been to Subway in so long. It's so weird, but I still love Chick-fil-A so much. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know why.
Play your cards right. You'll end up working there before you know
If they had like some kind of free system, I might actually get a job there.
You try to find a way to bug the system. Now, I remember the first time I became familiar with you was with Paper Planes, MIA.
Right.
And I was going down the list of some of the collaborations I've loved. Diplo with Shakira, Kid Cudi, Bruno Mars, no doubt, Snoop Dogg. The Major Lazer thing is far and above
also,
one of my favorite things.
You guys are one of the first stations to kind of really push that, and I really appreciate that.
And of course, this past summer, Jack U, with Skrillex and Bieber.
Yeah.
What a great song. We still hear it almost every day. We play it every 5 minutes.
I appreciate that.
We spin the hell out of it.
How does it happen, though? Do you call them, or do they call you?
I just ask them if they want to go to Subway, and we just
get him a free sandwich?
we trade a little deal. But with the Bieber one, he just I've worked with him before. I worked with Usher. I did a song called Climax, and then with him, I met Bieber. Worked on some music with him, and I think we kept the rapport. And then when we had this project, I was like, let's do something with him, because at the moment no one was doing any music with him. He was kind of in a break, and then we just got the song from him. We made something real special that was really unexpected from anybody to hear, and then, it became a big record for us.
Now, in the song, there's that instrument.
Yeah.
I was calling it the skin flute because I didn't know what to call it.
It's a little flute thing. I actually did an interview with New York Times, and you can see how I made the sound. It's like we did a really cool process of how to make the record, and basically the sound itself is a little snippet of Justin's voice. I chopped up and made a synth out of it, and then a little tight reverb, and then gave it a sound so it does sound like an instrument. It sounds like a flute.
Oh, now I'm all upset. I thought it was like some kind of kazoo or
I
something.
wish. It kind of has a flute vibe. There's a really good vine of a kid making up how he did the song. He's like, this song needs something, and he goes, how about I play the flute? Justin grabs the flute and plays the flute on the song, but it's really just a piece of a sample.
Now, Diplo, how many times or in how many of your cuts can we hear everyday sounds that you have manipulated with the computer?
You know what? Like almost every song.
Like, for instance, what are some of the weirdest things you've used to come up with these crazy sounds?
I've used I think vocals are good. I mean, I've used sounds. I recorded vocals. Even with Paper Planes, we recorded the vocals on a laptop, like the little speaker that comes in there.
Right.
Just, we're really lo-fi. We just do it how we do it, and in the box you can make things sound like however you want. So the cool thing about what we do when we produce is that everybody has every synthesizer sound at this point. Every piano's there, every instrument, every horn. But if you create something from scratch, like something you record, like a sound or a voice, you have just like a one-of-a-kind synthesizer. So that's like what we do with Lean On or with Where Are You Now. You just kind of make something original and make a new sound that no one has before, and that kind of gives it that edge.
I bet he slipped some sounds in there.
I've done some crazy stuff, yeah.
Like he passes gas into a microphone.
No, I mean, Dr. Luke has farted on records many times. He always puts
There
it
you
in there.
go.
You
want to be number one, you got to do number two.
You might sneak a little
We're
fart in
learning
there.
so much.
Some coughs.
You walk into the room with these huge performers,
Right.
and of course all the flashes go off. Everyone wants their picture. How do you fit into that? Do you like being a part of the flash of showbiz, or do you like being on the fringe?
I'm just kind of in the corner doing my own selfies,
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah, because
So
do people recognize you? Like sometimes the DJs don't
Yeah.
get recognized. You know what I mean?
I think now DJs get recognized a
Yeah.
lot. We're kind of, I think we're like it's like young kids. They really
Yeah.
know who we are. We're like their heroes.
You're an old woman. You wouldn't know.
Is that what you're trying to say?
What Diplo is saying is
Somebody might know who I am.
you're over the hill.
No, I think that we're like kind of like rock stars in our own right. I mean, we're pretty like normal people. We don't really have glam every morning. We don't have like a lot of pizzazz, but we're just a lot of young kids that aspire to be like what we do. Because we're like the garage of the punk rock guys right now, the DJs. So we have that edge, but mostly I'm just by myself. I put a hood on. No one knows who I am.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask the question. When you were, let's say you're on the stage, you're at this huge festival, it's time for the Diplo set, which is usually your set at a huge festival can be how long typically?
Between an hour and 2 hours.
All right. So, you're in there, in the booth, on the stage, doing your thing. Do you just push play and it just rolls? But you make it look like you're changing songs, or do you actually mix right there in front of us?
I wish I could. I wish I could do that, honestly. But
why couldn't you?
I have the worst attention deficit disorder. I can't even sit still, for like 5 minutes. I have to constantly do something,
You'd be bored up there just pushing play and letting it play.
It's hard. I'm doing stuff like I have Diplo as an artist. I do Major Lazer. I do Jack Hugh. Everything's different. Everything has a different appeal and different sound. So every night I'm constantly changing the way those things sound and which direction they are and kind of separating them. So it's too many things to do.
Are there any DJs who do?
Oh yeah, lots
play.
of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Give us a list of those names.
I'm not going to put anybody on blast because all these guys are actually great. I mean, some of them they work really hard, and sometimes you have like maybe $400,000, $500,000 worth of production behind you, and you can't improvise like I do. You have to have the show. Like Madonna, she's not going to go out there and improvise each song. She knows it's like rehearsals. A lot of DJs, their shows and their music is that big. They need to have everything in a real order. So,
is there one place you've been where you got there and you just were totally shocked that it wasn't what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Kenya. We did a show there. We had a really big song in Kenya on the last album, and we got there, and it was like one of the craziest concerts we've ever played. We were on the second floor in this venue, and it was like actually kind of in a treehouse almost. And then like 2,000 kids showed up, and we had to stop people from dancing because the floor was sagging.
The tree was falling.
Yeah, and they had to put like blocks and like steel beams underneath the floor, and we had to block off the center so people wouldn't fall through the floor. But they kept raving, and it was one of my favorite parties. Also, places like Indonesia. There's so many young kids making music there. India was one of the biggest shows we've ever done. We're in India.
Wow. And
they were, we did our video for Lean On in India, and it helped carry our sound over all through the Middle East. Major Lazer is really big. It's amazing.
It has that influence. You can hear
Yeah.
you can hear it. You can feel it in there.
It's got a world sound. I'm glad to be part of it.
What's that, Scary?
I had a chance to catch your set in Vegas at our iHeartRadio Music Festival, and obviously that's a pretty big arena, MGM.
Right.
How do you feel about playing big arenas like that versus a smaller venue? Do you feel there's more electricity, and what do you prefer?
Well, what was cool about iHeart is that I was really nervous. It was me. It was like I had to follow Nick Jonas and like Fetty Wap, and like I was like, what am I doing? But luckily, Kanye had played the day before, and he didn't use any of his fireworks, so they gave them all to me. So I just,
Nice.
Oh, you really?
Oh, wow.
I literally lit the
Sloppy
trigger.
seconds in the pyro division?
No, there's a funny Snapchat of me at the end. I literally just the fireworks are just going off for 5 minutes after I finished playing, like just all through the arena, just fire everywhere. So
Nice. And did you have to pay for any of that?
I didn't. So Kanye, shout out to him.
Thank you, Kanye. Thanks for the bottle rockets, Kanye.
That's awesome.
Because we didn't know that. I was like, oh my God, Diplo's got his own pyro.
Yeah,
This is
I know.
crazy, man.
And I'll take it, man. If you leave your fireworks around, I'm taking them.
Diplo, thank you for coming by today.
Always.
And this is it. Be right there. Diplo.